All right, let's talk about the tech world. Job titles, right? They're getting pretty blurry, especially with this whole AI explosion. So today we're going to crack the code on three of the absolute hottest roles out there: the AI engineer, the ML engineer, and the data scientist. It is time to figure out what these people actually do.
So you see these titles floating around: data scientist, ML engineer, AI engineer, and you're probably thinking, what is the real difference here? I mean, they all sound kind of the same, don't they? But here's the thing. Underneath that surface-level confusion, they each have totally distinct goals, different toolkits, and even different ways of thinking. And look, getting this right is absolutely crucial, whether you're trying to hire the right person or, figuring out your own career. So, to really get a handle on this, we're not just going to throw a bunch of boring definitions at you. No way. Instead, we're going to follow the journey of a typical AI project, right from the very beginning, that little spark of an idea, all the way to a finished product that real people can use. And along the way, we'll see exactly where each of these roles plugs into the process.
Okay, so our journey starts right here with the data scientist. I want you to think of them as the detectives of the tech world, the insight hunters. They're the ones who put on their boots and head out into this huge, messy wilderness of data, looking for that one crucial clue.
So what's their job really? Well, their core mission is to be a translator. They translate raw data into actual business insights. They're the ones diving deep, and I mean deep, into these massive data sets, hunting for patterns, for trends, for those hidden opportunities that nobody else has spotted yet. They are literally the bridge between a spreadsheet full of numbers and a smart business move.
And check out what they actually produce. Their work is all about exploration. So you're going to see things like reports, cool visualizations, and, this is the key word here, prototype models. Notice who they're talking to. It's not other engineers. It's the business leaders, the decision makers who need to understand the why behind all that data.
So their toolkit really reflects this mission. It's all about analysis and communication. You've got Python with libraries like pandas to slice and dice the data, SQL to pull it from databases, and of course, Jupyter notebooks for that quick, messy, rapid-fire experimentation. The whole setup is designed for one thing: asking questions and getting answers fast. It is not designed for building rock-solid software. So if you take away one thing, it's this: the data scientist finds the spark. They answer that big, fundamental question: is there actually something valuable hiding in our data? And once they find it, and they build a little prototype to prove it, well, their job is done. They hand off the baton.
And that baton gets passed right here to the machine learning engineer, or ML engineer. Now, if the data scientist is the one who finds the map to a gold mine, the ML engineer is the person who designs and builds the entire industrial-scale mining operation to get that gold out.
Their whole world revolves around one word: production. An ML engineer looks at that fragile little prototype from the data scientist and asks the really hard question. Okay, this is cool, but how do we make this thing work for millions of people 24/7 without it ever breaking? They are the specialists in building systems that are reliable, efficient, and can scale up big time.
Okay, this slide right here, this is maybe the most important distinction between the two. A data scientist's code is for exploring. It's messy, it's fast, it's just meant to get an answer. An ML engineer's code is software. It's clean, it's modular, it's been tested 100 times, and it's built to last for years. This isn't just a matter of style, it's a completely different philosophy. And honestly, this is the hurdle where so many great AI ideas just die.
And you can see that focus on production in what they deliver, right? They're building robust training pipelines and solid deployment code. And look who they're talking to. It's other techies. They're talking to the data scientists to make sure they understand the model, and they're talking to the DevOps and platform teams to make sure the underlying infrastructure can actually handle the load.
Their toolbox is all about automation and scale. You see stuff here like MLOps tools, think ML Flow, which help manage the entire lifecycle of a model. And you see containerization with Docker and Kubernetes, which is all about making sure their code runs exactly the same, reliably, no matter where you put it. This is the heavy machinery of the AI world.
So at the end of the day, the ML engineer is the one who makes the data scientist's dream a reality. They are the ones who answer that all-important question: how do we build a factory around this cool idea so that it's real, it's dependable, and it can grow as the business grows?
But wait, there's a new player on the field now: the AI engineer. This is a pretty recent role, and it's really exploded with the rise of these ginormous pre-trained models, the LLMs that are everywhere now.
Think of these engineers as specialists who know how to wield some of the most powerful tools ever built.
And here's the absolute key difference. AI engineers are mostly applying and adapting models that already exist. They're not usually building a model from scratch. Instead, they're taking something massive, like a GPT model, and then fine-tuning it or plugging it into a system to create something totally new, like a super smart customer service chatbot.
Because of this, what they build is very, very product-focused. They're the ones creating the actual AI-powered apps, the APIs, the smart little features that you, as a user, will actually click on and interact with. And they're working side by side with product managers and other software teams to get these features out the door and into your hands as fast as possible.
Yeah, their toolkit is a really interesting mix. They're definitely using deep learning frameworks, but a huge part of their world is hanging out in places like Hugging Face, which is like a giant library of these incredible pre-built models. And then they use specialized frameworks, like LangChain, to basically wire these massive models up to other data sources and tools, which lets them build some truly intelligent applications.
So you see, the AI engineer is driven by a totally different question. They're asking, how can we take the absolute cutting edge of AI that exists right now and use it to build something amazing for our users? It's all about speed, it's all about application, and it's about using the best ready-made tools to get the job done. Okay. So we've walked through the whole lifecycle. Now let's do a quick side-by-side showdown, a rapid-fire comparison to really nail down the differences between these three roles.
All right, first up, core focus. Data scientist, exploration and insight. ML engineer, building scalable pipelines, and the AI engineer, they're laser-focused on applying AI to build product features. You see that beautiful progression? It goes from an idea to a system to a real-world application.
And this one's a huge deal in the real world. Who writes production code? Well, as we've said, the data scientist, usually nope. Their code is for analysis. But the ML engineer and the AI engineer, yes, they are absolutely responsible for shipping stable, high-quality software.
And of course, the big question, what about the money? Now look, all three of these roles are in super high demand, but the data does seem to suggest there's a bit of a premium for those production-level engineering skills. You can see here that the average salary ranges for AI and ML engineers tend to be a bit higher, and that really just reflects how much the market values people who can actually build and ship these complex systems.
So there you have it. We've broken it all down. Which brings us to the final and most practical question of all: who should you actually hire? Or if you're the one looking for a job, which one of these paths is the right one for you? Let's just map it right back to that project journey we took. It's actually pretty simple. If you're at step 1, you're still trying to find opportunities in your data, you hire a data scientist. If you're at step 2, you've got a great idea and you need to build a rock-solid system around it, that's when you hire an ML engineer. And if you're at step 3, your goal is to just quickly build amazing features using the latest and greatest large models, then you're looking for an AI engineer. Simple as that. And that brings us to a final, pretty interesting thought. As these giant foundation models get even smarter and, more importantly, easier to use, are these lines going to start to blur all over again? I mean, is it possible that the key skills of an AI engineer, plugging in powerful off-the-shelf intelligence, will that just become a standard part of every software engineer's job? That's a question that's probably going to define the next decade of technology. Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.